Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight. We're going to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners on August 4th. Do a roll call.
Commissioner Ernst,
Here.
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Rollins,
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Here.
Commissioner Wright.
Here. Any changes to the agenda tonight?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to defer the Sugar Sand Park cell tower. And my thought logic on that is it's a deep contract. There's a lot going on with the city related to the softball fields. I'd like a little more information. I just think it would be better to defer it. It's not a priority for the district right now.
Okay. Anybody else have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I would go along with Commissioner Ernst. I also believe that we should have an RFP out and see what comes back before we arrive at any decisions regarding the cell tower. Also, with regard to the unsolicited proposal, I think we really need to get all the RFPs back from what we're sending out and discuss all the RFPs all at one time rather than do it piecemeal. I don't have an objection to the idea. I think it's a very good idea. But if we're going to talk about accepting or going ahead with this proposal tonight without knowing whatever else is out there, and especially concerning things that we need to do, I think we're being a little bit premature. So,
Well, that's what the discussion is going to be tonight, and then we'll discuss the RFP after that. So I think that's the whole point of having these two things on there, is to discuss the process and how that's going to work. So we'll get to that as the agenda goes on. So do we need to have a vote on?
Sure, if you will, you have a request or what would be in the form of a motion from Commissioner Ernst to in fact defer item number 2 from the agenda to a future agenda, subject to the motion subjecting it to further review.
I'll second.
Okay, we do a roll call on that.
Commissioner Ernst,
If I may ask that to a time certain or to a next meeting?
No time certain, when we can fit it into the schedule.
So, thank you.
okay, roll call. Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, we're going to open the floor to public requests. You have 3 minutes. When you get up there, please state your name and your address for the record.
Jason Hagensick, President and CEO of the YMCA of South Palm Beach County, 6631 Palmetto Circle South, Boca Raton, Florida. Good evening, Commissioners. On behalf of the YMCA of South Palm Beach County, thank you for the opportunity to share a few words this evening. Since the 1960s, our YMCA has proudly served the greater Boca Raton community with steadfast commitment to strengthening the foundations of youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. We were honored to be one of the finalists for the Paddle Sports Project, and we deeply appreciate the continued partnership and dialogue with the Beach and Parks District. As our community continues to grow, so does the demand for accessible, high-quality recreational and enrichment programs, as you see this evening. The YMCA is uniquely positioned to help meet this demand. For more than 50 years, our Y has delivered comprehensive services, including early education, after-school enrichment, summer camp, water safety instruction, teen development, and many programs targeting families and active older adults. We also offer a robust array of youth and adult sports programs: basketball, volleyball, soccer, flag football, gymnastics, pickleball, and more, serving thousands of families each year. So we see an incredible opportunity for collaboration at North Park. The Y would be interested in pursuing a phased development of up to 20 acres, beginning with an airnasium, a mini pitch, a gymnasium, and flexible program space. Our long-term vision would be to grow this into a full facility YMCA, providing year-round benefit to residents of all ages. It's clear that both the district and the Y share a need for additional gymnasium space. Instead of building one, let's build 2 together. We propose a strategic partnership where each of us contributes a gymnasium side by side, amplifying our shared impact. Together, we can create a vibrant, inclusive, and sustainable resource for our entire community. We would be proud to work as a nonprofit organization with the district in making this vision a reality. So thank you for your time and consideration. I wanted to get that done before everybody else.
Thank you. Anybody else? We do have a microphone, so if you want to sit in your seat and raise your hand, that's totally fine. We can bring you a microphone.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Saroon. I'm the president of Recreational Design and Construction, and I'm here to represent RDC Design Build and Wave House International. I noticed on the agenda that there is a unsolicited P3 and there's discussion about that subject. And I just wanted you all to know that there are other firms that are very interested in submitting proposals when the RFP does come out, and that we have done this before. 3 times we have designed and built these type of facilities throughout the country. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else?
We can just raise their hands and she can come. with the
Okay,
microphone.
from now on, if you want to make a comment after Mr. Ducate, you can just raise your hand and we'll give you a microphone so we can move a little quicker.
Hello, Robert Ducate, 5351 Northwest Third Terrace. I'm here to ask that you follow your guides that you had on the Ocean Breeze Master Plan that the Park District spent thousands of dollars working with your consultants. And there are specific items in here that the citizens of Boca Raton met on multiple occasions and voted for what types of facilities will be in the park. So again, I hope that you follow your past guidelines. If you're not going to follow your past guidelines, there should be another set of surveys and other meetings with the entire community to decide how this RFP process is going to be going along. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, my name is Maria Mitchell. I live at 5340 Northwest Second.
Stand up.
I live at 5340 Northwest Second Avenue, Unit 330. Well, I got the agenda, and also it sounds like you're just going ahead with the skateboard park. And it even sounds like you're thinking about putting lights on it. And I just wondered if that's something that has been approved.
Thank you. We don't answer questions during public comment. So if you want to stay for the discussion, because it's on the agenda, you're more than welcome to do so.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else for public comment?
Want to speak? Come forward if you want to public speak, please. No,
No?
no takers?
That's it? All right. Oh,
Back here. Here you go.
Hey, how you doing? William Zimmerman, 1511 Southwest 20th Street. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. No, I just found out about the proposed surf park just a couple days ago, and I was just so excited about it. I live in the city. I'm raising a family here. Avid surfer, grew up competing, surfing in this area. I own a surf school. I'm also a Boca firefighter, and I love this city. I care about this city. You know, I've set my roots here with my family, and I think this is just incredible. We need this. It's just an amazing opportunity, I think, for the city and for us, for our community. We have a thriving surf community here that would love this. So thank you.
okay. Last call for public comment.
How you doing? I'm Christopher Carr. I live in Boca Chica at 6161 Northwest Second Avenue. This is kind of news to me about a surf park. I do like surfing, I didn't know that for the last 8 years, we were trying to protect this space, this 25 acres of North Park on the east side, on the west side. So it sounds like this is my backyard. And so I'm sure there's also a lot of other Boca Chica residents here that are a little bit concerned. I missed one meeting and I didn't understand what just happened. And I see a lot of people here that I don't normally see. A surf park sounds great, but a lot of Boca Chica residents, I'm not sure in the backyard, all this traffic and everything, that's the right thing to do. We had a deed restriction on the land and we fought like hell to have it in Boca Park Recreation Division. So I'm just a little, concerned right now, like what's going to happen in my backyard. Thank you.
Yeah, there's another one in the back too.
Hello, my name is John Feldman. I live at 398 Northeast 25th Terrace, Boca Raton, Florida. As someone who has been a part of the surf community pretty much my entire life, like hearing how much we need a wave pool based on like our waves and everything. But I do think it can only bring positive and very little negatives. And I think any negatives will be handled by the team, but I think it'll be great for the community, and I'm extremely interested.
Thank you. Melissa. Oh, he's back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Appreciate it. My name is Jerry Brewer. I reside in Hillsborough Beach, Florida. I also have real estate at 1180 South Ocean Boulevard, right next to Hillsborough, right next to Boca Inlet and the park. Not to challenge the people that live around the surrounding areas, and not just that we need a skate park or a surf park. I think the most important thing is the dollars that it's going to bring into the community. And I went online today, matter of fact, for the city of Boca Raton, and everything about Boca Raton says, bring your business here, grow here. Everything we have that states everything with Boca Raton has to be Gumbo Limbo Park. Everything's related to a park. And what they did here is they put a Boca Surf Park on it, not just selfishly putting a surf park. They want to include the community. It's going to bring dollars into the community. The traffic that a lot of people say is going to happen, I'm sure they're going to work it out and make sure it's going to be a little bit more comforting for people in the area to get in and out. And most importantly, bring dollars, taxes, and also a lot more people into Boca Raton, Florida that never normally would be associated with it. I myself actually traveled to go surfing today, 2.5 hours to come in. If we have a surf park here, you'll have people and kids that will be actually able to experience something that most people in the world can experience as well. I'm 61 years young, basically because of the water, and everything that this park stands for is very important for the community, for the people, and again, bringing dollars and hopefully lowering taxes for people that live around the area. I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Hello, I'm Rick Summers. I moved to Boca Raton, Florida in '63. There was one traffic light, less than 3,000 people. We had the first tree, third, and second. We went surfing there. I'm 75 years old. My grandson is Jacob Turner. My granddaughter is Aaliyah Turner. They are surfers. They're sponsored. This is the biggest thing for young people. We have to keep them busy, and they will absolutely love this park, and I think it will be good for Boca. I thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Hi there, Christopher Warren, 2250 Cherry Palm Road, Boca Raton. Been a resident and have my business in Boca Raton for 30+ years. And just got into surfing during COVID and got all in, so I'm hooked. But this would be a fantastic project. When you look at some of the other facilities around the country, around the world, they're a draw. If you look at Waco, Texas, it's sold out. People fly from here to go to Waco, and there's nothing in Waco. You know what I'm saying? Think about what it would be like here in Boca Raton. It would be off the charts. It would like just be another crown in that Boca Raton jewel. It would be a business builder. You know, and it's not an ugly development. It's beautiful. It will look wonderful, and I can't endorse it enough. Can't wait till we get it.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Dalen Michaels. My address is 4600 Northeast 4th Avenue in Boca Raton. I was born and raised here in Boca Raton, fell in love with surfing because of the beautiful ocean we have here. If you can't already see the massive turnout of people that are here to support it, my whole life, I'm an entrepreneur. I started my company doing surf apparel, and we're the only Boca Raton, Florida surf brand. My whole business, entrepreneurial, young mindset, I'm 24 years old, has been centered around the love of surfing. As you can see, you have a room full of people here. I can't advocate for this enough, guys. I think this is a once in a lifetime thing. I've heard about it, rushed over here. Can't wait to share my excitement with you guys. And there's also like the most phenomenal team behind this. Island Water Sports, really awesome people. They know it here. And I really think this will be successful for the city of Boca Raton.
Thank you.
Hey, this is an awesome turnout. But I'm Lindsay Cottrell. I'm from what is my address? 1985 Northeast 2nd Street, Deerfield Beach, Florida. I've been running the Boca Raton Surf Camp for the last 15 years. Proudly, we love doing the surf camp in Boca Raton, and I've had the opportunity this week to talk to hundreds of parents about this surf park and how much it would mean to our community and our families. We're 90% residents, so as much as we are super thrilled that this would be a massive draw for like all over the country, we're really excited for what it could do for Boca families. So I hope you guys consider it. We have so many people that are excited about it, and yeah, that just wanted to give our 2 cents. So, Sophia, get in here. She's nervous too, so we're gonna do it together.
I'm Sophia Gamboa. I'm from Coral Springs, 11767 Northwest 57th Street, and I'm on the U.S. Junior Olympic team. And it's so hard to, take the time out of being a full school high school student and taking the effort to drive 5 hours, 2 hours to Jacksonville, Fort Pierce, Vero, and the amount of effort that's going into having a local wave pool would just be amazing to help grow the community. We have a growing South Florida board riders community that's trying to upbring and inspire all of our surfers to come out and show out. And the board riders, like having a wave pool would just be amazing to have waves constantly in our backyard. And yeah, sorry, I'm nervous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, no. Last call, last call.
So my name's Tony Ferliciardi. I live at 2006 Northwest 48th Avenue in Coconut Creek. My mom lives here in Boca, but I just wanted to reiterate, we run a STEM program or STEAM program that teaches kids through surfing and skateboarding. And we started off with just like 5 kids in 2018. And this year we're going to have over 2,500 kids go through our program, learning surfing and learning STEM through surfing and skateboarding and different things like that. And I just see there's a huge need. Just in our like weekly meetups, we have a huge wait list. We can't even facilitate the families. So having a place like this is amazing, not only for the families, but like they said, people travel all over to go to different wave parks. So it will bring a lot into the community. As far as income, you can do all kinds of education there. It is going to be great to teach the kids to be good stewards of the environment and just learn all kinds of different things. So I just really advocate for it. I know there's a need and there's definitely a demand for it, and you have the best team doing it. So definitely support that.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we're gonna go ahead and close public requests and do approval of the minutes of the previous board meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous.
Okay, moving on to regular business. Item number 1, the Miller Lake Additional Services Skate Park Design.
Commissioners, page 4 of your agenda packets is a brief memo about this design. To answer a question earlier, does this design mean that this will be built? No. Some of you may have followed us along, and if everything we designed ever got built, we would have a 27-hole golf course and not even be here. So it does not mean that it will be done, but unless we get a design going, we don't know that it even fits. We don't know that we can do the security that you want out there or the sound barriers that you want. So this is the next step in that process. So tonight, this is up for discussion for you all for approval. Looking for a motion to approve as submitted. I do have representatives from Miller Lake here at the podium, and I have American Ramps on the Zoom call.
I'd like to make a motion to move forward to approve it as presented.
Second. All right, any further discussion? Go ahead.
Yeah, I really think that we're a couple of weeks premature with this. I'd like to get, past the, meeting we have on, the public meeting we have on the 6th to hear what the public wants. I understand that design doesn't mean that we're going to build it. But before we design it, I want to get ideas from the public as to what they would want, what they don't want. And even if, you know, they're opposed to it. So I feel like let's wait until after the public meeting to our next meeting and then submit this for approval. If we do that, I'll vote to approve at the next meeting.
Okay, I disagree. I think this is perfect timing because if we go ahead with the design now, we're having the public comment on Wednesday. So they'll be able to gather that information and then move ahead with the design. So that's how I feel.
They'll get public input this
Yeah,
Wednesday coming
but
up.
yeah,
So what's the
this
delay?
gives the impression that it's a done deal, regardless of whether it is or it isn't.
No, I don't think so. I think
I- I-
we fully explain that it's not a done deal
Yeah.
because otherwise we would have a 27-hole golf course at North Park, right?
Right.
So
But-
this is the next step in the process.
But I think if we wait 2 weeks, we won't get hurt.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I think we should let the public
Yeah.
give us their ideas
Susie will get-
and then go ahead with approving.
Susie has a question.
Lumi, if we approve this and we don't go ahead with anything, then we don't have to pay you the extra 200 and some $1,000. No.
Okay,
So does that put your mind back at ease?
But no, that's not the issue. The issue is I want to make sure the public is heard before we go ahead with anything that even resembles approval of the skate park. Not that I'm against the skate park. All right, I want everybody to get their 2 cents.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and do a roll call and see where we land. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
No.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
And Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, moving on to, well, we're gonna take number 2 off the agenda and move on to number 3, Boca Paddle North Park infrastructure discussion.
Commissioners, page 54 of your agenda packets. Is some, discussion, and I do have a slide up top. I have Mark Butters here. I have representatives from Miller Lake. I have, if you guys have any questions about this proposal, this is for work outside of the Boca Paddle area. This is for infrastructure that is required to bring to their property line. So this is stuff that would be done in North Park. However, in our agreement with Boca Paddle, we offered that if their timeline exceeds our timeline, which it is right now, that we would go ahead and have them do this work on the site so that they could not be held back on doing their vertical construction, which currently they're not able to get permits until that infrastructure is put in on the property. So this would eliminate work that we would have to do in the future for North Park by approving this. So tonight, looking for approval of the work submitted by the Butters Construction Group to start the construction at North Park. And
Move
I have
to,
people here to answer any questions.
yeah, move
But
to
it-
approve.
I wanted this pretty slide up here so you could see.
Oh.
The work.
Sorry. Never mind.
Well, I asked for it and then I forgot that I asked for it. So the work is in the green area. So that includes the work on Jeffrey Street, the sidewalks there and the infrastructure that goes there, the sewer lines. And then the driveway that will be a shared use driveway for, they'll turn into Boca Paddle from that drive and then go into the park from that area too. So it's not being built in phases. It's just how the contractor would phase in the construction, just so everybody's clear. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to make sure I showed the slide.
Are we sure?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Move to approve?
Second.
Okay, I just wanted to thank Brianne for the email that she sent out to us with the cost comparison so that we could see that the cost that Butters gave us was within the estimates, and she did that on a Sunday, which was nice. So thank you for that. Any other comments or questions? Nope. Okay, roll call.
Okay, Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Moving on to
Yeah.
number 4, reschedule the regular meeting and the first public hearing in September.
Madam Chair, if I can help the executive director.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
At the last meeting, you scheduled a public hearing under the statute regarding a trim compliance. That's truth and millage. It's your annual budget process required by state statute. The date was then available or believed to be available in good faith. It was not. The end result of which is that administratively, your executive director has communicated with the Broward County, with the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser's Office to confirm a reset date. That date would be
September 3rd.
September 3rd, which would enable you this evening, having had that date accepted as a date legally able to be selected by you, to be ratified by motion this evening, to reconfirm that should there be a public comment or question about the fact it's been reconfirmed and has been ratified for the revised date that Brianne provided to the state.
So we need a motion to ratify.
Correct.
I'd like to make the motion to ratify and also confirm that our regular meeting will be that night.
That's a second,
That's
that's a
correct.
second.
Second motion. correct.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, any further questions or comments? Nope, roll call, please.
Sure. Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
The second motion would be to amend our regularly scheduled meeting on September 2nd to September 3rd. We typically have our public hearings right after the regularly scheduled meeting, so we would just move that meeting to September 3rd. We need a motion to do that tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving on to number 5, unsolicited P3 proposal for North Park discussion.
I wish people would have shown up for this to talk about it. We actually have, the proposers are here. They'd like to speak first if we could give them a few minutes to speak on this proposal and then open it up for discussion by the board.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners, for your time. We're going to show a short video and then.
Tell us who you are for the record.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shane Cottrell, 5926 Facilinda Lane, Boca Raton, Florida. This is our team here. Matt Oliveira from Deerfield, Andrew Strange, Noah Hamilton flew in from Hawaii today, and Andrew McGorry, Bill Marshall, and there's a few more in the team here, Dimitri, Max, the whole team. Yes. Here's a video that gives, I think, the best understanding of what we're trying to produce here in Boca Raton. And then we'll have some slides afterwards to further explain what it means.
Made its Olympic debut at the Tokyo 2020 Games. However, despite the sport's increasing popularity, for those without access to quality waves, surfing remains just a dream. Aiming to share the exhilaration of riding waves with everyone, Wave Garden has been leading the way in designing world-class surfing and beach destinations. We offer the greatest variety of quality waves, the highest user capacity, and the lowest energy consumption. It has a fully customizable footprint, providing up to 1,000 waves per hour, with a wave menu offering 25 different types of waves for all customer profiles. The result is a proven dynamic business opportunity, suitable for standalone surf parks, residential resorts, and large-scale mixed-use developments. Catching lots of waves in a controlled environment flattens the learning curve for beginners and provides the perfect training arena for high-performance surfing. With lagoon occupancy and the bottom line of surrounding businesses above forecast, 6 Wave Garden facilities are operating successfully in Brazil, South Korea, Australia, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. Our technology is the most environmentally sustainable in the world today. The average hourly consumption is around 350 kilowatts per hour. 10 times less than pneumatic wave systems. This can represent savings of $2 to $3 million each year. Developments are fast underway to create the ultimate goal, a carbon-neutral Wave Garden surf park. Wave Garden promotes a healthy outdoor lifestyle, creates new employment opportunities, and delivers positive social and economic benefits to the local community. Our pursuit of excellence in the fast-growing sector of man-made wave lagoons has surged Wave Garden even farther ahead, enabling us to achieve our vision of sharing the exhilarating feeling of surfing great waves with everyone, everywhere. You guys are making history. You guys are changing the world.
There we go. So we have a PowerPoint here, just a short version of basically what we've already submitted to you guys, the unsolicited, just to go over some of the high key highlights of this proposal. This obviously a wave that Wave Garden produced here. This one is in Sydney, Australia. If you go to the next page, can I control this? Yeah. Yeah. I'll just ask you if you go to the next slide, Brian. Oh, the TV. Got it. This is the team behind the vision. Obviously, my name's there. There's Matthew. Most of the team's here. Chris Warren's in the crowd somewhere. And there's a lot more that are on the team that couldn't make it. We didn't have the most notice, so we kind of put this all together since Friday. And Bill Gallo is in Bahamas right now. We got the rest of the crew all over the world. So if we go to the next, there we go, perfect. Surfing is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. We see this in Florida. Florida's equally as busy. We run the surf camps here. The last 3 years, we've had full capacity, or we've been sold out all summer, every summer. We see at our 4 surf shops in South Florida that ever since COVID, as Chris mentioned earlier, started, it's been a huge run to the outdoor healthy lifestyle. You know, surfing is one of those sports that you can do your entire life. Mr. Turner was here, 72 years old, has one of the best surfers in his grandson's one of the best surfers in the world right now in the high school. And then we have Sophie here that is on the Olympic team, the Olympic junior team. We also have people like Caroline Marks that was born here at Boca Regional. She just won the gold medal at the 2024 Olympic Games in Tahiti. The reason why they held it in Tahiti was because France is flat in the summertime. Luckily, they have waves most of the time, where Florida's flat most of the year. So we're a little bit of a disadvantage. We see that all the time, whether it be Caroline Marks or Mr. Turner's grandkids. They move to either New Smyrna Beach, and if they're really ambitious, they go to San Clemente, and then from there they go to Hawaii. You know, we see all the faces in this room. There's probably the most traveled group of people you'll ever meet because we're forced to travel, being where we live. But overall, statistically, we have 500,000 surfers in Florida, and that number is growing exponentially. You'll see here in 2010, there's 20 million surfers are out worldwide. This is to 2023, and we know it's grown since then. If you can go to the next slide. Health and outdoor lifestyle. So not only is surfing great for the fun of it, it's a great healthy lifestyle. Most kids these days, 70% of kids after the age of 13 no longer participate in any sports. This is because they're introduced to traditional sports, team sports, where you need a big group of people. They grow into high school, they're no longer making the team or making the cut or have too busy of a schedule, where surfing is a sport that can be done up until your older age. We see that surf camp all the time. Lindsay over there, Skeeters, I'm just sure sees his surf camp. I see the guys from Waves from Delray Surf Camp over there. We used to have kids come on Monday and they have their phone and they don't want to go away from their phone. They're day one, they're addicted to it. They don't want to go in the water because that means they'll have anxiety from getting away from their phone. But by day 3, they get dropped off and they don't even want their phone with them. They're not even worried about it, don't even care about it. They're having more fun in the ocean than scrolling the addiction of the digital detox that we see hurting our children today. Also, there's social connection. all these people in this room, great friends. Unfortunately, I only see them about 40 days a year when there are waves in South Florida, which is more than most people say for their friends. But there's a great community in surfing, and there's a huge community here in South Florida, even with the waves not being the greatest. A lot of people here have surfed great waves and have come back, circled back, and decided to raise their family here with still being able to travel to surf. I'm going to hand it over to Andrew to talk about the next slide. Kind of talks about the waves a little bit more.
Yeah. Thanks, Shane. My name is Andrew Strange. Thank you guys so much for allowing us this time. And we've worked really hard just to get to this point. So it's like a really cool opportunity to just be here in front of you guys and just to be able to talk about this at all is kind of a goal for us. So we wanted to talk a little bit about kind of why, because I'm talking to people that are not surfers, and they ask, why would you need a wave pool in South Florida, right? You live right next to the beach. Why do you need a wave pool 2 miles from the beach? And the reality of it is we live in arguably one of the most beautiful places in the world, definitely in America. We live, beautiful blue water and great fishing and things of that nature. But the reality of it is we're basically living next to a lake, more or less, throughout the course of the year. So on average, we get 7 to 15 good days of surfing a year. And the comparison that kind of rings true for us more and more is it'd be very similar to if you were a skier and you lived next to a perfect mountain that never actually had snow on it, right? So we get to look at this beautiful mountain that has no snow and think about how great it would be just to ski down the mountain. And building a wave pool for us would be like putting snow on that mountain. We're basically creating an opportunity every day to do something that people are so passionate about. And then similar to a mountain, you have these opportunities where kids get to do it and people that want to learn how to do it get to come in and experience this opportunity. We have more or less a bunny slope that's consistent for children and people that are new to the sport to experience. And then we have the black diamonds that, more experienced surfers are going to get to ride consistently. Because of the geography of where we are, the waves are very inconsistent. Shane said 40, that's a very generous number, but we really see on our end about 15 days a year. So 350 days a year, we're just hoping for something to be there. This wave pool kind of checks that box. If you could go to the next slide. What this would be in turn then for the skiing dynamic, if you will, is imagine that you find this mountain that has the perfect snow on it, but you have to walk up the mountain every time to use it and you don't have a ski lift. We're basically creating a ski lift. We're creating an opportunity where instead of surfing 1 or 2 waves an hour, you get to surf 20 waves an hour. We're creating consistent repetition so that people that do want to take their surfing to a higher level have these opportunities one after another. Most people, the first time they experience a wave pool, they say the thing that they're not used to is how many waves they actually get. Most of the time that you're actually surfing, if you're in the water for an hour, you might just be sitting there for 50 of those minutes. When you get into a wave pool, you're catching a wave, getting back out, catching a wave, getting back out. So the opportunity to have a lot of people in the water is higher. Part of the reason that we chose this wave garden technology that we're really proud of is it gets the most people active and in the water, right? There's technologies that are out there that only allow 10, 15, 20 people in the water at a time. We get to have 80 people in the water at a time. So the number of people that we get to see on a daily basis goes up exponentially. The number of people that we get to service inside the community goes up exponentially. And then the price point we get to keep as low as possible because we're seeing that many more people. So those are all big things for us. To get into the details, I know a lot of you guys are probably interested in barrels and things of that nature. I won't dive into that right now, but the wave time is 16 seconds. The number of waves that we get to generate in an hour is 1,000 waves. So there's just like a really cool amount of things that are happening with the technology that we have here. And we're super excited for what that means for the future of South Florida surfing. So Shane talked about it briefly. One of the things that happens when you live in South Florida and you like surfing is you end up just not being in South Florida, right? It gets you out of here as quickly as possible, especially in these summer months. So we're trying to keep people here, keep them engaged in the community. So we're going to turn it over to Matt. He's going to dive into the technology.
Back one? Yep. Hi, everyone. Hello, commissioners. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about the park here today. We're all so excited. I also want to say thank you for everybody that show up. I can see everybody here has a dream.
Tell
of-
us who you are as well, if you will.
Yes, my name is Mateus Oliveira. I'm 42. Do you need my address too?
Yeah.
Yes, 4210 Northwest 12th Avenue, Pompano Beach. So I just want to briefly touch about the environmental and sustainability of the park. So one of the things that we're very proud of this project is the environmental leadership that we have behind. We choose to use a wave garden system, which is one of the most efficient, energy efficient in the world. And we use about 10 times less energy than any other park, any other surf park when it comes to wave generation. And one thing that I want to say is when you look at this, we're able to hold up to 98% of the water in this wave pool. And when you look at this is a huge project, a huge lagoon, right? But because the technology has going so far right now, we are able to conserve so much water, and we use actually less water than a 2-hole of a golf course used in a year. So that's pretty impressive. And I just want to say, this project, when you look at this, I know we're talking about the Boca Chica, and we're being very careful analyzing this. So we don't want to disturb the environment. We don't want it to just put a pool there and a bunch of traffic and create a huge problem there for the environment. So we're very careful when looking at the environment. Thank you. And then I'm gonna pass to Andrew Mag now.
I'm Andrew Majori. I'm the non-surfer of the group, at least it's up here. Might have been able to figure that out. I think this is a great plan and proposal, and I think the recreation Boca First programming.
Sorry,
Go to
sorry.
the next
I
slide.
just need your address, please.
Oh, 4790 Glen Pine Lane.
Thank you.
If you go to the next slide, Brian. I think that when we talk about the park, we're really looking at a recreation Boca First sort of proposal. These wave gardens are successful all over the world. A lot of times they're collaborative with large home or hospitality programs. And here we look at just focusing on what we can do for the community and making it as inclusive as possible. So this programming that we're looking at in the unsolicited P3 is to really bring the wave park as a staple or as a part of a big recreation complex. And that would feature, some water slides, a lazy river, as well as a splash pad, bring into it some other elements that would be cohesive for the non-surfer, right? Or the guy that's just going to learn and go wipe out a couple times and then need to relax. And, as accessible as the beach is here, you go to the public parks, like it's hard to get parking. They're always full. And this is a really captive, controlled lagoon. We think about wave park or pool, but it's really a beach entry. So the surrounding area around the waves is a giant inland beach, and that's controlled and accessible to anyone that visits the park with their friends and family members, and really helps our accessibility. I have a special needs son. I know that we'd much more easily go try to surf at Boca Wave Park than we would taking them out to Sugar Sand and have the struggles with that, because we could go hang out in the shade or go to the snack shack or do other things like jump on the lazy river for a minute and then try it again. And, this has become a passion project for me because I see what it could do. I have 3 little kids, and I think that the adaptation of being recreation focused in one centralized location, not just the theme park or the lazy river or, cliff jumping, but really getting my kids acclimated and out in the community and not have to drive to 5 or 6 different locations and prearrange it. We're also planning to put some beach volleyball courts. We have beautiful turtles that lay eggs on our beach, but that does restrict our ability to have active volleyball courts on any of really the South Florida beaches. So by having a controlled beach volleyball court, we could do some controlled tournaments there and coordinate with the college. And, this way we'd have such a great sport that the courts get closed down when it's nesting season. So, we have to have a place, and this would fulfill a need to have a great spot for the volleyball. Brian, if you go to the next one, this park, really is a great revenue generator. And I know that the guys talked about the accessibility of the amount of surfers that can be in the pool, but you're looking at an area of water that's, a little over 7 acres. So in context of the amount of people in this pool at a time, it makes it incredibly safe, and also has a paywall so that we know who's in and out of the pool, with waiting areas and cold plunges and things that are accessories to the pool that make it a collaborative, inclusive environment. And I think that it's great to have the surfing community. As a non-surfer, I think this is a great, fun place for me to go as well as a lot of my peers that aren't surfers, to try to surf and spend some time there and really be in the water in a safe and controlled setting with lifeguards and, you know, all the protocols in place. We're really looking at this as a big revenue driver for the city of Boca. For, you know, I've built and developed golf courses in the past, and unfortunately they all lose money. This, you know, having a linear revenue projection based on the audience that we approve or approach with this, you know, gives us a real clean line of delivering on what we say we're going to the city of Boca, to the Beach and Parks District, by annually, you know, producing revenue share agreement that gives the beach and parks the ability to grow in other areas and produce things that maybe can lose money, but we generate that revenue for you guys accordingly. Wave Garden is a great tech. Again, being new to the surf community and understanding the analysis, it allows for a much more elaborate and safe program and keeps our costs down, but it's also very spread out. So we don't have to have a really small siloed pool, and we can have these collaborative adaptive uses around it. And we just hope that you consider this P3 submission, that, you know, we're looking to be in probably the least desirable area of North Park Plan, right up against 95. And, you know, with that aligned with, you know, working with the city and you guys accordingly to deliver on anything you might need, it's our hope that you'll approve us. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Noah Hamilton. I'm from Kauai, Hawaii, and been working in this wave park development for a little over a year. You know, I'm partnering with these guys. I really believe in this. I don't come from a wave starved area. I have anxiety just being, you know, near the beaches here. And the thought of moving my family here, you know, but to have this in my backyard, it changes things. I mean, I've traveled all over the world, you know, everywhere from Costa Rica to the Maldives, and I've had a lot of bad surf trips, and you don't have a bad surf trip when you come here. You know, you get your money's worth with all the money you spend on a traveling trip. So my story goes back to the story of Soul Surfer. My sister, her name's Bethany Hamilton. She lost her arm to a shark. That's an issue we definitely deal with here in Florida. You guys definitely are the capital for attacks. And, you know, we've worked a lot with adaptive youth and at-risk youth, and just creating resilient youth through surfing and bringing them into her world of surfing. And we've struggled so much doing camps in Hawaii and California, and just the elements of currents and no waves and too big of waves, and not so much reef, but, you know, jellyfish, sharks, onshore winds. And, you know, we just did our first Forge Camp, which is a men's amputee retreat. It was our first test retreat in Waco in Texas, and it just was amazing. And my sister's been going there since that place just opened. And, you know, having one arm, she doesn't have to compete for catching a wave. She doesn't have to use up all that energy paddling into a wave. And there's just so much benefits to it. And, you know, our kids need this. You know, we want to create resilient youth in the community, and surfers, I feel like, stay resilient. Surfing is just so healing. And that's the biggest thing that, you know, guys that have just experienced surfing for the first time at age 61, I hear during COVID, like, how much better is your life when you go out there and even though it's flat, you just duck dive under a wave and you're baptized by that wave, and it's so healing. It makes you feel good. And every surfer will tell you, you've had the worst day, it just takes away all that, you know, you forget about that. And so I have a big heart to see, like, at-risk kids coming through this program, through this park. We're going to work with them to create programs to incentivize them to go through a program to help them deal with, deal with struggle, pain, resolution, just conflict. And there's a program that I'm a big fan of called Ambassadors of Compassion that's running through the school programs. So, you know, we have so many kids, as Shane touched on, that aren't connected to nature, and surfing will connect you from young to old. It's one of those sports you can do on your own, but it's so hard to schedule around South Florida. So now you'll be able to schedule it like a golf game, like hitting up the gym. And yeah, it's a little more costly, but the price, you know, ocean's free, and it's hard sometimes for surfers for us to get around that thought of paying to surf a wave, because it's always been the equalizer. But we plan to have programs to help, kids that can't afford to come, you know, parents, single parents, you know, and we look forward to, you know, bringing this to South Florida. Thank you.
All right, the marketing guy is up. Commissioners, fellow surf rats, all my friends. Bill Marshall, 6262 Northwest 23rd Street, Boca Raton, Florida. President of Team Marketing based in Boca Raton, Florida since 2000. I was honored when my friend Shane and his family asked me to be on the advisory board. I've been surfing for 51 years. I've lived in 7 different communities, no further north than where we stand right now. I can tell you that I have driven tens of thousands of miles in and around Florida looking for surf throughout my life. The wave pool phenomenon didn't exist when I was these guys' age. It's there now. 30 years ago, I rented out Typhoon Lagoon, okay, for 3 hours, for $3,000 for one wave every 3 minutes for me and my buddies. And at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, which was the only time it was available. To this day, it is still rented out for surfers at off hours because it's for the patrons of the park. Commissioners, this is about Boca Raton and the parks. I patronize your parks 4 nights a week playing soccer. This is the best community I've ever lived in for as it goes with parks and what you offer. This is not about a surf park. This is about that whole park, what it's going to be. If you had any doubt if surfers will travel, look around you. They're here for this. They're here for this. They're not here for Shane or because they want to. Surfers will travel to support this. This will be, there's no other surf park in the state of Florida. And we have the second largest amount of surfers in the United States besides California. So they're here looking for surf. From a marketing standpoint, this is going to drive tremendous revenues. This is going to drive opportunities, as all my partners have talked about, from everything from the charity aspect to the special needs aspect to everything that we can help support and partner with you guys, the parks of Boca Raton. I truly believe, and I'm honored to be involved in this. I don't think that there's any way, and this comes from a marketing guy, that you can miss. You can't miss here. This is a home run for the city. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And just in closing here, we've here's an image of the drawing that you guys have in your book. The strategic location we picked out. You know, this is I-95 to the bottom. So we hope there to be a sound buffer for the residents of Boca Chica, blocking 95. Currently, there's only half a sound wall there, not a whole sound wall. So we think the crashing sound of waves is better than crashing cars. And there's room for other recreation. You know, there's enough room to do a 12-hole golf course here, Jason with the YMCA, where the aquatic center is, you know, the rec center, or with the YMCA over here. Boca Paddle, the skate park, mountain bike trails, nature area. I think that would only use, from my calculations, 3/4 of the park. So we're happy to work with everyone. We have a great team with us, and we're flexible, but we'd love to see it happen here. So we ask for your support, and thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, we're obviously all here. So, yeah.
Well, I'll see if anybody has any questions first. Brianne has something to add in terms of options for us, but does anybody have any comments or questions for Shane?
I'd like to hear from Brianne.
Okay. Go ahead.
Commissioners, as you know, this was received as an unsolicited proposal, which activates in a statute, a Florida statute. So you guys have 3 options tonight. You can reject this proposal outright and proceed independently. You can accept this proposal for evaluation and open up a competitive solicitation for similar proposals. There's also a new exception to the statute, and Sam can weigh in on that because I'm certainly not an attorney, but you have another option to accept and evaluate the proposal exclusively, waiving competitive bidding. And that was just updated to the statute, I think, last year.
2024.
Okay. Steve, go ahead.
First of all, thank you guys for coming in. You put a lot of work into this, and I think the concept of a surf park is a great idea. It's thinking out of the box. That said, I think at the very least, we'd have to open this for competitive bidding. We heard from a gentleman, I don't know where he is, there he is, who is a competitor of yours. And I think it would only be fair to you guys, to him, and to us, and to our constituents to hear what other people have to say. Also, we're in the process of putting out an RFP for the balance of the park. We don't know yet what is going to be where, or, we know we need aquatics. We know we need another field house. There's a skate park issue. We have to be able to fit all these things in. And I'm sure there are other things that other people want us to do. But we have to be able to keep an open mind. So I don't want to say we reject this outright, because there's a lot of merit to what you have. But by the same token, I feel that we need to get all the pieces, all the possible pieces that come into this together before we can say, yeah, there's room for this, there's no room for this, maybe we put it somewhere else, and so on down the line. That's just my 2 cents.
Anybody else have any comments? Craig?
What were the options again, Sam?
Go ahead.
To reject the proposals outright and proceed independently.
Proceed independently?
Yes, which I'll describe that. And this is in the memo from Brianne, but it's also in state law.
Okay.
It's not something which we created on the dais. It's provided for under state statute. And we've given you a memo, as you know, this year, actually, in February, which described in great detail the statute, which is a complicated set of laws in one statute. Our memo was back in February. The section, for the record, is 255.065. The second option, again, this is an unsolicited proposal. You didn't put it on the street for review. You simply received it in the context of a delivery, which was received recently. So the answer is that you can independently decide that you would choose not to proceed further and reject this proposal. You can, technically speaking, accept the proposal for evaluation, but then open up the process for competitive selection or competitive solicitation. Remember that the offering that was given to you was not specific to anything except their specific request for the use. You didn't ask for this use. It wasn't actually something which you emphatically requested. You didn't put it on the street. It wasn't something which you determined and derived and offered up. And the last option, which Brianne cites in the memo, is accept and evaluate the proposal exclusively. And there is a provision that was modified last year in the statute that allows for proceeding and waiving bidding. But there's a whole set of requirements besides just that one sentence. It's an evaluation process. It's a professional process. It's a time-driven process and requires certain components in the state statute that have to be complied with. But those are the three legal options that you may consider with regard to the item.
Okay, I gotta simplify this for me. So
Gonna try.
one is reject, I take that one off the table. The other one is to kind of proceed independently and accept it for further evaluation.
The first one is to reject it, is to say we've received it and we choose, and the law does not require you to do anything except say thank you very much, and you can essentially not accept it for any further review. If you do accept the proposal for review, for evaluation, you can also then open up the process to third parties who have yet to be able to sit at the table and make a presentation under the statute as described. So you can not reject the proposal and open the process to others to be considered by the board in an appropriately set forth public competitive process under the statute. So you can say, thank you very much. We're going to hold it, but we're going to also open the door for others under the law to allow them to come in and make their presentations and offer up their provisions accordingly. Also requiring an evaluation by statute.
Okay. So, and then the next agenda item is the RFP for scope of services of P3 opportunities for North Park. They're unrelated, so, because we received this proposal as we know it now. Is that correct?
And again, for the record, you did not, as a board, direct the executive director to provide for a specific use on that site that relates to this particular proposal, which was unsolicited.
Okay.
The item on the agenda to which you refer specifically talks about the balance at North Park, which is yet to be
Okay.
offered up. So that's the connection with the item before you, or not, depending upon how you would choose to address it.
So I guess for our audience, you kind of caught us a little flat-footed, like a deer in the headlights, because you're giving us something and we have to say we accept it or we reject it. But I think our gut feeling is we have to have a proposal. The next line item is ask for an RFP for anything you want out there. Give us ideas, and I say flat-footed is because just a few meetings ago, we paid off the bond to the city. So we technically own the west side outright now, and we don't have any delays with the city other than the normal process. But we do have a city council person here right now, and he promises to speed things along for us. So I think we can move a little faster even if we do something on this. But nevertheless, I think the goal would be is let's I'm sold on it, but we got to see what else is out there on the whole thing and get the ideas for everyone and how all the pieces of this mosaic fit together as a park. We heard earlier a little bit about the Y might have something. There are probably others who have proposals maybe out there that would be worthwhile. There's golf, which is another option out there. There's a lot of options, but it's sat kind of dormant long enough. So I think collectively, we all want to have something that is, meaningful to the community, is an investment of the community that will bring tax value to the community. It will be good for the community, and certainly it checks all the boxes. But I'd recommend that we kind of roll this into that next agenda item. And I don't know the technical term, Sam, if we can, is that saying?
You're essentially, if I may, Madam Chair, you're not rejecting the proposal, but you're suggesting that you're not accepting the unsolicited proposal and opening the door for that side, that portion of West Park for any and all projects that would otherwise be acceptable to this board.
Other P3s specifically.
P3s, yeah. Same kind of concept.
Yeah.
Correct.
Option 2.
So understand that you're not accepting the proposal. You're just simply saying you've accepted it for public record purposes, but that your interests are to reopen the door under a fuller process where you can accept any and all proposals for the use of the property.
Is that suggesting option 2, Sam?
Yes.
Okay, so accepting for evaluation and open up the process. Opening up the process would not mean just opening up the process for this project, but opening up the west side for P3s. Which
For P3 proposals.
Okay, well, Shane, wonderful job putting together a proposal. I don't know how you could have put together a better project than this. I use the ocean for fishing, not for surfing, and it's better for that anyway. But I like the team that you put together. I like this proposal, and it would seemingly fit into our project there. And the impressive crowd that you have, that surfers do travel, and you've proven that here. And
It's hard too. There's competing waves in Fort Pierce for the first time in like 3 months. So.
Yeah, so
You got us on a bad day. Sunburn.
so I'm of the opinion accepting option number 2 is how I'd want to go with that.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you for the proposal, and it's something different that we don't see here in Boca. Obviously, it's not your typical recreational amenity that we have, and I think we need something like that stands out amongst, all the other cities here in South Florida. We'll have something different and something super cool. And I hate driving my son to the beach for him to just sit out there on his surfboard for like 3 hours on flat water, for him to have waves to surf and for me to not worry about him because he's not in the ocean, would be fantastic. So I think it's a huge opportunity for the city. But I do agree that opening it up would be the right thing to do, to see what other P3s come in, especially for the other side in terms of field house or whatever else opportunities might be available. but you did a great job with the proposal. I do think there was a couple of things that could be expanded on in terms of when you do resubmit, if you can resubmit, would be a traffic study. Because just FYI, there is a proposal by Toll Brothers for a 74 luxury home neighborhood in the Hidden Valley Golf Course. So,
We don't need more of that.
well, that's not up to me. You should talk to Andy. He's right there. So that would impact this area because it's right at the end of Second Avenue there. And also, you know, the Boca Paddle is there. So just keep that in mind if you could add to your proposal and some additional like more in-depth financials, that would be great. But thank you. Thank you for proposing something different. Appreciate it. Susie?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. This is really impressive. I don't think we've had this big of a crowd since we tried to raise the millage rate about 5 or 6 years ago. I do have some questions.
All right.
Number one, I've been on this board for a long time and I have never seen a more thorough proposal come in, solicited, unsolicited. A lot of work went into it, but I do have some questions. Is the location for the park in North Park set in stone?
We think it's the best location for it, but it's not set in stone. We could be flexible and adjust. Yeah.
How do surfers compete with golf clubs?
It's actually, most surfers are golfers around here, I'd say. I don't know if you want to get raise of hands for the small sample in the room, but how many of you guys are golfers? Yeah,
Yay.
there's quite a few.
Okay.
So,
Well,
we
we
have to do
don't
something else on
want
the spot.
another Red Reef golf course. We would like something for the youth to be competitive. So we might have to do some adjustment there. As far as memberships, is that going to be a competitive number for, you know, the cost and everything for and for the residents of Boca? Are you going to adjust that accordingly?
So the membership idea is to cut costs from just doing hourly rates once a week. So it'll be a cheaper discount rate for Boca residents and really anyone that's local enough that would want to surf on a weekly basis. And the starting cost is pretty competitive already. We have at $49 in the proposal. And we think with the membership, it can even help that get lower.
Okay. As far as Erin's, our chairwoman, the congestion, I think you did explain that the congestion is going to be minimal compared to a regular water park, but I do agree with her that a traffic study might be in order. And on page 69, you said there's no fixed subsidy. What does that entail?
Yep. You, Andrew?
Yeah, it would just be,
He's the smart one in the group, but not as a person.
it would be the collaboration with you guys about what makes the most financial sense for you going forward. You know, we're not looking for any handouts from Boca, you know, to do this other than your land. But, you know, to clean up the site, you know, it's an old golf park. So some of the things to clean up and then just, you know, having a productive conversation about a revenue share going forward that makes the most sense for you guys to support
Okay.
your growth and future goals.
What do you anticipate your annual operating costs to be?
Our operating costs run around $10 to $12 million a year, with top line revenue around 20 to 25 million. That's bifurcated by food and beverage, retail, as well as surf and membership. So there's a couple buckets of revenue stream centered around the wave pool, making up roughly 55 to 60% of top line. And then, you know, a pretty substantial staffing program because of the lifeguards, the servicing, the programming that goes into a world-class facility and running it as a, you know, Class A recreational facility and not like a, you know, action park, right? Like we're really looking for a real clean, refined Class A facility. So that's why we have such a big expense load.
Well, thank you. And thank you all very much. This is impressive.
Okay.
Do we
well-
need a motion for,
A motion for what?
as to how to
Well, do we
proceed?
have to talk about the RFP first? We have to move on to number 6, or can we just blend it?
Madam Chair, if you will, you have several items that are somewhat competing. The P3 unsolicited proposal is item number 5, and that's, you've allowed public hearing, public comment. It was not requested by the board. It was not described by the board. It's something which was given to you under the statute and otherwise, again, in an unsolicited fashion. Item number 6 is a larger RFP, which deals with the same property which is owned by the district, but opens up opportunities for bidding, or offering up the property for other public recreational uses. The statute's very clear, by the way. This is for public recreational purposes, defined in the statute specifically. So the answer is, if you would choose to take no action on item number 5, but simply accepting the item into the record, but opening the door for the RFP to be comprehensive for those projects which have yet to be proposed to you, which have yet to be exposed publicly to you in this room or otherwise, which would then permit the current unsolicited P3 proposer to also submit, or to amend their proposal to submit as well. Which, if the objective of the board is to allow for an open competitive process, follow the statute, which is again very, very complicated, and allow all the proposers to offer up their opportunities to you, then approving the solicitation under item number 6 would allow you that opportunity. In item 5, you would thank the proposer who's offered you this opportunity this evening, and suggesting that the deferral, if number 6 is approved first, then it would essentially change the process to be for everyone to submit as provided.
Sam, is this contradicting, if we were to accept for evaluation and open up, the process, is that the same as what you're suggesting?
Well, slightly different. You'd have to make that decision. If you want to evaluate this proposal, you have the legal right to do so.
Well, I for one would like to evaluate this proposal.
And the evaluation is in the statute. It's a multifaceted review by experts and others who would need to give you advice on issues and items that are in the proposal, which have yet to be reviewed by your staff or by you.
Okay, and then this, the second part of that comma is open up the process. Does that mean opening up the process just for this one feature?
That's your call, because at the present time, the proposal under item number 6 relates to the entire property. Item number 5 has a limitation as to where it's going to be, and it's not all the property. So if one is more largely situated than not.
So if we just went with the item number 6, there would be no evaluation of this project at this point.
Unless the group this evening decided that you wanted to review this proposal and then open up the whole process to others who have yet to make their proposals known to you.
But we wouldn't review this proposal until all proposals were in.
It would be your call to do under the statute. I believe you have that right to do that.
Okay, so we can essentially say, thank you for the proposal. We can do an RFP, and we can let them know if they want to adjust, add anything to their proposal, and then resubmit under the RFP that we open up, so that we're evaluating whatever comments or any issues or anything that you realize are there, or that you want to change or whatever. Then you can resubmit under the RFP, and then we can evaluate all the proposals that come.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, I was just looking for a faster process. That's all.
If I may, Madam Chair, the statute is not something that's been on the books for 100 years in Florida. The statute was created in 2013. It was created in 2013. The legislature essentially was looking for a way to allow private interests and public interest to merge in a process which would provide for public use, municipal use, et cetera. The end result of which is that the legislature supports public-private partnerships in a way that must be melded with the need to having public use and public purpose involved. That's the district's orders under your special act as well. So how you fashion this will matter more in the context of what motion you make, but you have several options.
But I'll ask this of the commissioners, is this a one of several features that you want to see in the west side? Or is this a particular feature, something that you want to make sure is included in the west side? But because if it is, then I'd want to go with option 2 to do the evaluation
Mhm.
and open up the process. I just leave that out.
I guess we're only a week away from kind of kicking it off, so I don't think you're gonna speed it up much more. So my thought, based on what I heard, is thank the proposers for a great job on item number 5, not taking any action on it, but then go to item number 6, have the RFP and invite them to participate in that RFP process with anyone else who would, go through it. There's a timeline associated with it. When we get to that item, it's pretty quick to me, so it's gonna go very fast.
I mean, when are the RFPs due? September?
Do you need a motion on that, Sam?
You would to clarify, exactly.
So you want me to try to make the motion? I'm trying to figure this thing out. The motion I'd make is on item number 5, the unsolicited offer is to thank the proposers and invite them to participate, subject to our discussion on item number 6 or an RFP.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? No. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Just keep in mind, though, how much we thought of your proposal and how everybody's super excited about it. But I think we're just, we just want to make the process as open and transparent as possible. And we know that so many developers and people are interested in that side. And we want to be able to put things there that we know the residents want and will make Northeast Boca, great. So I think that's the reason why we're opening it up, and I hope you see that. But it's fantastic, the fantastic proposal. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, very much.
So now moving on to item 6. No, you actually can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. We only have the public comment in the beginning, and then we have to move through our agenda. So sorry.
Just to clarify, Madam Chair, item number 5 with regard to the unsolicited proposal has been essentially accepted by the board for review publicly, and that you've moved on to number 6, and that's the item that you've actually voted on.
Right.
And the motion that was made by the commissioner and accepted by the board was unanimous.
Okay, so moving on to
So guys,
RFP.
we can't hear, we need a gavel or something to
Oh.
quiet. The staff can't hear.
I didn't hear what he said.
Please be quiet.
We didn't hear Sam's okay.
So moving on to the RFP scope of services for P3 opportunities from North Park West.
Commissioners, at our last meeting, we talked about the fact that this board has now satisfied the debt on the west side of North Park, which is what we were waiting on in order to start developing the west side. We have a conceptual plan that included an aquatics facility and golf, which is included in the scope on this RFP. That's page 74 in your agenda packets. It's also a broad option for anybody with any recreational amenities that may meet the needs of the community to submit under this RFP. This is for the 140 acres on the west side, as well as the 1.8 acre site on the southeast corner that has not been developed or is not part of our current design plans. So I'm open to any input on how you want to adjust this. We'd like to get this advertised by next week to meet the timeline that we put into the proposal.
Okay, I just had one comment on this. For the, was the criteria for evaluation? I wanted to add like, a line item for how important it is to the residents, like the needs of the residents of whatever the proposal is. So,
Like the proposer must demonstrate a recreational need in Boca for it?
right. So yes, there's a need for this and, and based on what we think the needs are for that recreational amenity.
Do you want documentation?
No, I mean, it's, whatever they provide, however they want to do it. But I think it's for our criteria, for our evaluation, knowing what we know of the city and what the needs are.
We're having a hard time picking up everything on our mic, so.
Where's the door?
Yeah.
But otherwise, that would be my only comment. Could you have anything?
Yeah, further to what you said, do you think and I'm asking this of all the commissioners, that we need to define in the RFP exactly what we see as recreational needs.
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
I think she's saying it would be up to the
It's
proposer
up
to
to the-
demonstrate the need.
Yeah, and then it's up to the evaluator to
Okay.
say, well, no, I think this is a number 2 need based on what we've done, or a number 8, a level 8 or
And
whatever.
in
Yeah.
terms of priority.
Yeah.
All right, I can live.
Is the timeline of what, about a month?
Yes.
Reasonable?
That's the,
I think so.
yeah, that's what we've done in the past was a month.
I mean,
45
we're
days.
asking, if somebody were to come up with something like this, would they be able to do it in a month?
They'll probably have to work on Sundays too.
And I think people have been waiting. I think people know about this property and who we are and everything, so.
We've had other subtle,
Yeah.
contact. Yeah, so I would think that they're probably sitting on, ready.
Yeah. Anybody else? No? So do we have a,
Nope, I'd make a motion that we
Okay.
proceed with item 6, doing an RFP proposal as outlined in the memo.
Second.
And amended by Aaron's comments. I'll include that.
Oh, yeah.
Amended by Aaron's comments, which were about recreation and what was it?
The criteria, updating
Criteria?
criteria.
thanks for listening.
I heard, but I was kind of thinking about it a little bit, The criteria are there. They're good.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, roll
Good
call.
coverage, right?
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang.
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to the final item, budget discussions.
Commissioners, tonight I want to go through a little bit of information about the budget. At our last meeting, we set a tentative millage rate at our current rate of 1.08. I did express that I would come back with a budget with the current millage rate as well as the suggested lower millage rate of 1.06. You'll see that both of those scenarios will work for us as far as what we plan for our CIP, as far as city requests. I do have a presentation I want to go through just to show you some of the trends that we've had. We'll just flip through it one more. Okay. That's it. You can go ahead to the next slide. Okay. So overall, I just want to say that the city has worked really hard to make sure that their operational budget stays pretty consistent. I want to mention that they've also included new programming this year, like the CAP program, the pickleball program as well. So overall, municipal projects have gone down, which keeps the budget lower. In general, the operating budgets have stayed pretty consistent with slight increases throughout the year. But overall, I think the city is doing a good job being fiscally conservative as far as how the parks are operated, but maintaining the standards that we expect. You can go to the next one. A little more detail on that is a breakdown by park. You can see most of the parks in the 2026 budget are down from their previous budget of 2025 requests. So they've worked really hard to change the structure and make sure that they're being conservative. At the end of the year, we always have a lot of money that's not spent, so they're looking at those dollars and making sure that they're not budgeting extra that they don't really need by the end of the year, so that we can use that money on other projects. So, next slide.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
What is the reason for the increase in Don Estridge?
Oh, they realigned some of the positions that weren't in that budget before, so that's the increase there.
In his staffing positions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for our capital improvement program, in fiscal year 2026, some of the projects for the city on Red Reef, we fund all of Red Reef, including Gumbo Limbo. It is a city-owned park. They're putting up lifeguard tower replacements, the central boardwalk renovations. The boardwalk renovations are like ongoing because it's on the ocean, because it's constantly deteriorating. They really do a good job of keeping that up. Same at Gumbo Limbo, designing ADA pathways to viewing tanks, working on the oxygen system for the seawater intakes, pumps, and the decking and railing replacement, which is also ongoing at Gumbo Limbo. And then there is a request, which I'll talk about a little bit later, to participate in the design of the maintenance facility at Spanish River Park. We do not currently have a contractual obligation to fund anything at that park. So I would talk about my recommendations a little bit later after we get into that budget. And then there's also a request in the city's budget for phase 2 of DeHornley Park, which we are waiting to finish up that amended and restated ILA because we may be taking that project over from the city as well. As far as district CIP projects, the budget includes making the repairs to the tunnel walls on the west side, the construction of east side amenities of North Park, the design and construction of the skate park and pump track. Patch Reef Park, it's the Patch Reef Park Paddle and Racket Club. Tennis court reconstruction, which was approved this year and will carry forward. The Patch Reef Park Paddle and Racket Club Pro Shop design. Fixing the turf nailer boards at Patch Reef Park as well. At the Racket Center, we have 6 courts left to light, so we'd like to go ahead and light those. We did put in new lighting 2 years ago on some of the courts, and the lighting has not caused any impacts to the neighboring communities. The new lights now don't really throw into neighborhoods the way they used to, so we'd like to go ahead and light the last ones. We also need to do a bridge inspection every 2 years. We do an inspection of the bridge that leads you over to the Racket Center from here. At Sugar Sand Park, we're going to finish the re-roofing of the remaining buildings, which is underway right now. And then, of course, the multi-sport rink cover is out to bid, so that'll be under construction in the next fiscal year. We're also going to work on a design of a second field house and the design of DeHornley Phase 2, which is on our CIP project list. My next slide. Some other budget considerations. We have the field rentals at FAU. We also contribute to the Boca Raton Community Redevelopment Area. We have an obligation under Florida statute to participate and fund that TIF payment. So that continues until 2040. That's when the CRA is going to sunset. And then we also plan to set up some reserve funds. In the past, we had a reserve fund to pay off the bond at North Park. We succeeded by paying that off. And we also have reserves for beach renourishment. And this year, I'd like to establish a reserve fund for the future construction of DeHornley Phase 2 and for the second field house. So those were all accounted for in the budget that you see in your packets tonight. Next slide. As far as how the district operates, we have a very small staff. We have 3 people on staff. Everybody else is contracted out. Overall, our general government costs do go up each year. A lot of that is due to property insurance. So underneath the personnel, which is the blue piece of the pie, 13%, that covers salaries, benefits, and commissioner expenses. Underneath operating, that includes communications, bank fees, legal ads, our property insurance, which is a big chunk of that, office supplies, dues, subscriptions, licensing, fees, travel. Just reading this whole slide to you guys. The tax collector, we pay fees for tax collection and commissions to the property appraiser each year. So that is the 22.2% of our total operating budget. Professional services include legal counsel, bookkeeping, accounting, IT, and auditing. That makes up about 10% of our budget. And then we have maintenance of North Park, Sugar Sand Park, and the Exploring exhibit. So that's our last little slice of the pie. And that's kind of a breakdown of how the district budget is managed. And then finally, how our budget this year aligns with our goals that we set at the start of the year. Goal 1 was to be fiscally responsible and manage our budget. Our goal 2 was to have community engagement and transparency. We're obviously doing that by talking about our budget at several meetings and maintaining transparent information along the way. Goal 3 is infrastructure and facility enhancement, which is something that this board has committed to at all of our parks, including aging facilities. It's hard to believe that some of like Sugar Sand Park is 30 years old and needs a new roof. And these things happen, and we continue to keep maintaining our properties to a very high standard. And then, of course, compliance with legislative mandates. All of this aligns with our requirement to set tax levy each year. Does anybody have any questions on this information before I get into my, not a rant, but just a suggestion? The one item on our budget, which is on page 110 of your agenda packets, is for the city CIP. One of the requests that they put in was for us to participate in funding the design of the Spanish River Maintenance Facility, which I understand needs to get done. They've asked us to participate because that facility does house some of the materials or equipment that's used to maintain Red Reef Park. I do want to remind everybody that at Red Reef Park, they have parking meters out there, and none of that revenue generated from those parking meters goes back to the maintenance of Red Reef Park. It actually goes to the city's general fund. So we fund the entirety of Red Reef Park from the district budget. the city collects that money out there, it goes back to the city's general fund. So my suggestion is that if we do participate in the Spanish River Maintenance Facility, that we do work out an ILA with the city for that. I wouldn't want to go into just blindly start paying for a maintenance facility and not having some parameters set up. And I also think that it would require us discussing further some of the funds that are collected at Red Reef but don't go back to the maintenance of that park, because it is a big budget for us to maintain each year. So that's my one big question about the budget. If anybody has any other questions about the budget, I'm happy to try to answer them or come back with more information at the next meeting. But overall, we have a 1.08 or a 1.06 if we want to talk about lowering that millage rate, and we can make both of those scenarios work with this budget.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, what's the revenue, or the estimated revenue from the parking meters?
In the last 5 years, the city's collected $1.7 million. They have given some information that helps pay for the meter system, which I understand, but I also don't think that the city would continue installing more meters if there wasn't some profit off of that.
Yeah, so we're basically looking at roughly $350,000 a year that they pick up that we don't get a piece of.
That included the COVID year where it was closed, I'm just saying.
Yeah, all right. So it's probably more. But let's say for purposes of the discussion, let's just say that even taking out the COVID and figuring out what their expense is in operating the parking meters, we come out with about 350,000. I would like to see in the ILA so a mention of revenue sharing for those parking meters.
Before we talk about an ILA, I first would like to know if the board, I need some direction if we want to participate in that Spanish River Maintenance Facility or if we want to not participate in it. If we do want to participate in it, then I would say we need to get an ILA in place before we start funding it. I would put that money aside in a reserve fund for the budget, so we'd have it there, but I would suggest that we do an ILA to define the parameters of our participation in that building.
Okay. Playing devil's advocate, what are the ramifications of our not participating?
We have
with
no
the
legal obligation to that park.
Yeah, but I'm talking about other than that. Is this going to affect anything else that we do with the city?
I would hope that it wouldn't. And I'm sure it may be upsetting, but I think it's a conversation we could continue to have with the city about why. And we could talk more about Red Reef and some of the revenues there that should probably be put towards Red Reef maintenance.
What, we haven't mentioned any cost or what percentage of the cost for the construction, has that been?
No, there's been no construction budget. I think they have us at 30% of the design for that maintenance building, but I don't know how that was calculated because there is no ILA in place and there's no real, there's no parameters. So again, if that was something like, I wouldn't even want to go into an agreement and say, we'll fund 30% of that, because if that maintenance building costs $40 million at the end of the day, that's a big chunk for us to budget for when we have all these other projects we're trying to build.
Where's our equipment get these days?
My understanding is that they do store some equipment at the Spanish River Maintenance Facility. I don't know what all is stored there. I know Gumbo Limbo stores some stuff on their site. There's also like an area that's kind of fenced in without a cover on the Red Reef West parking lot where they did an art thing to cover it.
Well, I certainly would not want to commit to a percentage of the completed project because you don't know what that's going to be.
Right.
I'm aware there could be some political considerations that might be undertaken, and I would hope that we don't have to make a commitment to as part of our budget this year, do we?
Well, they did request us to participate in the design for this year. Whether or not that would actually happen this year would be up to the city's timeline on projects. I know they have a lot of other projects they're working on, but it was a request in this year's budget.
Did
So
they give us an idea of the design costs at all?
70,000 is what they're asking for our participation.
Okay.
But my concern is once we start participating without an ILA in place, there may be an expectation that we're obligated to continue funding. So if we wanted to set that money in a reserve fund, I could do that. Or if we decide not to participate at all this year, we can go that route too. That's the one item I have a question about from you all.
Go ahead.
I think all of us, well, or at least most of us toured the Spanish River Maintenance Facility a number of years ago. And the costs were not defined at that time. They seemed extremely high. They were higher than a lot of the luxury home costs for per square foot. Without an ILA in place, I'm not in favor of going forward, because if you're saying $40 million, that's a big chunk.
I mean, I could be exaggerating a little bit, we don't know, but if it became that much money, because let's look at how hard it was just to develop Ocean Strand on the water. That became a much larger project than we thought. So they're building something on land that could require an archaeologist. It could require a number of things out there environmentally. So it could be a much more expensive project than anticipated.
Plus, it's right next to the beach, so there are
Yes.
other considerations there.
Given the unknowns, I couldn't support participating.
Is this something we want to do an ILA with, or do we want to just not participate this year?
I mean, we have no financial responsibility to participate.
I'm not in favor of participating.
I agree with you.
Yeah, so I think the answer is no participation now. If they come along with an ILA later, we'd be open to considering it and then participating at that point. Does that
Okay.
sound good?
Yeah, that sounds
Do we
great.
need a motion, Sam?
It would be helpful to give your director guidance.
I'd like to make the motion that we will not participate in the Spanish River Maintenance Facility at this point in time until an ILA is agreed upon between the parties.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
But I would like to get to the good news of the budget. There is a millage rate reduction there of 1.06, reducing $2 million. And what we're saying is that we can operate, and facilitate everything we need with a slight millage rate reduction, which I think is beneficial to the community. And we talked a little bit about this last time, but Brianne's kind of proven out that, we've always done very well in our budget. We've consistently done well. And we've got a lot of big projects, I know, but they're all accounted for and there's reserves set aside. So I'm an advocate for not raising taxes just because it all feeds back. You have the homeowner community, you have the business community, and it's exponential to the business community. So it all feeds back to you have less money in your pocket. The taxpayers do, whether it's through business or whether it's homeowners. And if we can do something on that front, I think it would be a good idea to do it. So I would like to make a motion that we consider the 106 rate. We're coming up. We don't have to decide that now, but give it consideration.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, given that there's $1 million set aside for Canister Hornley, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm making the assumption that's for the maintenance facility.
No.
Nope.
No, so on your budget, the 1 million is for the design of phase 2, which is the athletic fields. And then in your reserve fund, I put 10 million aside for the future construction of phase 2, and I put 10 million aside for the future construction of a field house. So we do have those items covered. The 70,000 would come out of the city CIP projects line. The 2.9 million would be reduced by the 70,000.
Well, let's be clear to the public. When we're talking about not raising taxes, we're not, Craig just talking about reducing the millage rate. I would be talking about keeping the millage rate the same, which in a sense is a tax increase because property values have gone up. And it's part of Save Our Home that you get that, that savings. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot on our plate and a lot of unknowns. And while we do a pretty good job of forecasting and budgeting, I think things do come up. And I for instance, we haven't talked about this, but Don Estridge probably needs to have sports dirt put down over there because it's such a mess over there after 3-4 months of play and the school using it. I for one would be suggesting that we keep our millage rate the same. I mean, we're not talking about on an average home. I don't remember what the increase was, but on a $500,000 home, Brianne, what was the cost? $54.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was not a lot.
I mean, it's it's a couple of, several, coffee clutches at, Starbucks. So, and I don't diminish the increased cost, that a homeowner might pay, but, I think that given the scope of our projects, what we have is that I really feel firmly that, we need to stick with our current millage rate.
On the item that we voted on for North Park for Boca Paddle,
Mhm.
was that included in the
Oh.
budget?
That's the North Park construction money. So
Okay.
that would be from that.
With regard to the millage rate, the one thing we have to bear in mind is if we say, all right, we're going to reduce the millage rate, and then all of a sudden we get hit with something, we can't increase the millage rate. We can only go back the other way. Now, the fact that we can cover everything this year, as you laid it out, and you did a great job with this again. That's nice, but with so many other things coming up, I'd like to be able to have that cushion, so that we can deal with whatever it is that we need to deal with. And also, as I pointed out in the last meeting, property values for the next fiscal year are not going to increase, at best, are not going to increase at the same rate. And there's a possibility it might stay flat or even drop a little bit because of what's going on with condo pricing right now. So these are all things that we need to bear in mind. Right now, the way I feel, I have to go along with Bob. Let's keep it where it is for now. And at the public hearing, if I'm not mistaken, or between now and the public hearing, we can at any point revisit this and drop it. But I don't want to be in a position where we really need an increase and we can't do it.
Okay, well, you don't need a,
I don't need a motion or anything. I know we'll talk about the budget again in our next meeting, because that's our last chance to talk about it before the first public hearing. So we'll.
all right, well, this is just more information for us for when we do have to vote on the millage rate, so. Approval of payroll and invoices.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval of payroll and invoices in the amount of $85,981.62.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous.
Okay, reports and discussion items, Graham.
Commissioners, just a few items. Our public workshop for the skate park conceptual design being hosted by Plant a Park is happening Wednesday at Boca Raton Community Center. That's August 6th, starting at 6 p.m. Our traffic garden on the corner of Jeffrey and Second Avenue is getting close to being done. The traffic garden itself is in, and the signs have been installed and it's been painted. We're waiting for the fencing, some porta potties and a little shaded seating area to be installed. Is the board interested in doing a ribbon cutting on site?
Yes.
Okay,
I think you got to do some kind of publicity around it. That's new.
I think it's gonna be awesome, so I'm
Okay.
excited about it.
A lot of people have asked me what's a traffic garden, so
It's education.
it's a
Yeah.
bike track for kids to learn how to ride their bikes with signs and stuff, so.
Stop
everybody-
signs, yield signs. It's the fun thing. The roofing project at Sugar Sand is underway, and then bids for the multi-sport rink cover at the former roller hockey rink at Sugar Sand Park. Those are due back August 22nd. So we'll have that coming up in September. And that's all.
Legal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to give you an update, we've been in contact with the city attorney of Boca. As you know, the board has directed the director, and she has paid off the existing bond on the west half of North Park. We've looked at proposed closing documents, which is basically consistent with the ILA. It's a quick claim deed conveying the balance of the property. There was just some brief discussion regarding the legal description, and we expect that the city will be recording the deed sometime, we assume, this week, which will perfect ownership in the district as provided for in the interlocal. which, as you know, was initially set up in 2018 and modified in 2021 to reopen. Just some additional discussion, but this one item was never changed. It was committed to, and it's been fulfilled. And to that end, I'm happy to answer any questions about it. And to the further extent, the city's been very cooperative and very assistive in the context of getting it done. No issue of any kind of any consequence. In fact, if I may say so, there's a minimal overage in the payoff, which will be refunded back to the city after the cost of recording of the deed and other associated documents.
Back to the district or the city?
What's that?
Back to the district.
Back to the district.
Okay.
That's, they're holding the funds because they received them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then,
Thank you.
they're not withholding them from the district in any way, shape, or form. Happy to answer any questions, and otherwise, thank you for listening as always, and thank you for listening about the 3P project discussion. The statute is a complicated statute. It's not something which can be understood in one swallow, so to speak. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
Okay, commissioners, Steve?
First, I'd like to thank Brianne for the extraordinary amount of work she did over the weekend to get us prepared for tonight's meeting.
My job, it's okay.
Yeah, much appreciated. So I expect at any point we're going to get an email about a raise. Also, I'd like to thank everybody that showed up tonight. This is what we're about. This is democracy in action. You're giving us your point of view. You're telling us what's on your mind. Okay? And that's the beauty of it. Quite honestly, I wish we had more meetings where we needed to find more chairs. Okay? And so again, thank you guys and ladies. Your presence is very much appreciated.
Craig?
No report. Thank you. I agree.
Bob?
Hey, I wanted to comment on the budget process. A friend of mine who came in, Mickey Gomez. Mickey, stand up. Mickey was the Parks and Rec director for many years and responsible for a lot of the projects that we have successfully built. And our budget process that we had during Mickey's administration were a lot more fun because Brianne has streamlined this to the point where, you know, all the heavy lifting is done by the time it comes to us, and we have to make the decisions on where the money is spent and the reserves and so forth. But we don't get into the nitty gritty like we used to do with how old this vehicle was and did it need replacing, and a lot of wasted energy in the process. And so to that regard, Brianne, thank you for facilitating the budget meetings that we did. And we'll talk about a raise offline.
I did go by the traffic garden this morning. People were out there taking pictures of it. So this is really a great project. Melissa, thank you for all your efforts out there too. And the North Park logo.
Looks good, right?
How cool is that, you guys? I mean, it's really, really cool. So I'm excited about that. Melissa, I do have a question about the repairs at Jacobs Outlook. Is the city looking into that?
That's me.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah, they did have a team go out there and they're working on those things. So I'll follow up with Greg on a timeline.
Yeah, that's important because
Yeah.
that was a construction error, and I think that we need for the safety of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sure
And
Greg's
Greg's gonna text me.
Brianne, thank you, and Joanne and Melissa, thank you very much for all your efforts. We really appreciate it.
I have nothing to report, so we're all good.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, well,
Commissioner Ernst?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
yes,
Motion passed.
we are adjourned.